just go ahead and read the profile of Mr. Seun Onakoya. Mr. Seun Onakoya is a highly motivated individual that loves exploring new challenges, concepts, and ideas. He enjoys developing business models and reading extensively for the purpose of continuous development, get towards problem solving, and the creation of enduring solutions for national and community development. One of his goals is to help people create businesses that has a human dimension, generate employment, and develop innate human capacity and vast revenues. He has worked in corporate sales, project management, contract management, business strategies, operations, documentation, planning and procurement, and team management, including training and development. He possesses diverse relevant skills within the business life cycle. Wow. Mr. Seun is a Gallup certified strength coach. He has equally worked in a multi-industry environment where he gained the relevant skill and confidence to view the market and consumer perceptions with multi-angle perspective, thereby satisfying customer needs. With a key focus on top-line productivity, Seun Onakoya manages operations by ensuring optimal utilization of resources. He's proficient in strategy formulation, where he makes use of in-depth study of inputs given by market research to ensure wider market reach and penetration of unexplored markets. He is skilled in building healthy relationships with key accounts for generating businesses and leading workforce towards accomplishing business and corporate goals and objectives. He is also very skilled with abilities in training, team building, and driving teams towards achieving corporate goals. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a rousing round of applause, let's get on Mr. Seun Onakoya, a Gallup certified strength coach.
Thank you, Taiwo.
Amazing. Wow. Okay,
thank you so much.
It's great to have you here. So reading your profile, and at some point I'm wondering, wow, everything about management, contract management, something planning and procurement, something around in-depth strategy. I say, God, we have someone on the hot seat. So tell us, how has the journey been before we get into the meat of the matter?
I would say the journey has been very challenging, and I must say it's not a bed of roses. I'm sure some of the things you see in my profile tends towards management, and also you see a lot of strategic analysis, you see a lot of option provision, and you see that ties up to my core strengths, which is strategic thinking, and as a business person, as a great conductor, when it comes to business, the ability to put a team together, the ability to manage resources, the ability to ensure that teams function effectively, basically. I started business in 2006. I started business in 2006, and my first foray into business was actually in consulting. And we did a lot of consulting. I had a team that were working together at that time in Lagos. So we did a lot of consulting, we did a lot of due diligence, we did a lot of project finance, and that was how we started eventually.
Okay, so let me pause you a bit. Let me pause, because yes, you are telling me how you started. So, but I want to reroute this discussion, awesome, to the point where how did you even stumble on strengths? Okay, how did you stumble on strengths, and then so that we could take it up from here?
Okay, I stumbled on strengths through a friend of mine. She's a Mandela Washington Fellow. She went to the US and she participated in the strengths assessment. And she was like, "Oh, Seun, we need to look at this. This is something you do, and I would like you to look at it." So I looked at it and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome." So I did more research and eventually stepped into the strengths coaching field. Before the strengths coaching field, I'd been a life coach. I'd done a few certifications in life coaching. Coaching is my thing basically, because I've done consulting and all that. So coaching for me is natural. I just needed to do the certification to give it some structure.
Yes. Yes. So great. Okay, so I love and so that's how a couple of people have shared similar experiences. This is our 7th episode, and they've shared certain experiences as to how they came about strength. And I think it's almost usually a pull approach. So somebody discovers strength and then evangelizes about strength, and somehow we have you as a convert. Okay, so great. And I understand you're one of the
awesome.
very 6. You're one of the 6 in Nigeria. So how does that feel? Tell me. And how has this foray been?
Well, being part of the few coaches in Nigeria is I think I'm of the opinion that we need to democratize strengths. We need to democratize it. It's not enough being the leader of the pack. I'm not so used to being you guys are the exclusive club of strengths. That's what we are. But that's not it for me. For me, it's let's democratize it. Let's ensure that more people become coaches. Let's ensure that more people get into the strengths field, even understand their own strengths. So the more we reach out, the more we evangelize, the more we ensure that people are aware of strengths, then fulfillment comes gradually.
Okay, great. So, and I think we're coasting on well now. We have reached that altitude, even though we have not been able to stream. Now, for those that are joining us, we have Mr. Seun Onakoya. He's a Gallup certified strength coach, amongst other things. So, and he's also an IT solutionist. He comes up with conceptual solutions around even development of applications that can ease or even ensure that businesses move at a smoother rate. Now, today we're going to be talking about the meat of the matter and something revolving around, having to start and scaling using strength. So for those that have just joined, and those that are also joining this episode or this series for the first time, the strength methodology, or the strength language, as we like to call it, is geared towards helping people discover innate or latent talents within, and helping them beyond discovery, developing same, and then deploying accordingly to be able to, maximally experience exponential results. So today, Mr. Seun, can you please begin to share your thoughts as to how we should use our strengths in starting? That's the first level. And then how we should use our strengths towards scaling. So let's start with starting and having to start a business, starting a family, or starting something. Thank you.
Okay. First, it's one thing to say you want to start, but it's another thing to actually know what you want to start. So I would say that for you to start anything, whether it's a family, whether it's a business, whether it's a partnership, whatever it is, you need to understand the Socratic Rule, which is know thyself. So once you know yourself, then you can channel all your energies towards whatever you want to start. So it starts with self. It starts with understanding who you are. It starts with gaining insights into your personality, gaining insights into who you are. Once you gain insight into who you are and understand this person you see in the mirror every day, then it's easier for you to say, I want to channel my energies in this direction. I want to channel my abilities in this direction. I want to channel my talents in this direction. So for me, the first principle is know thyself. And the next question will be, how can I know myself? That's the next question. One of the easiest ways to know yourself is what we call the Clifton Strengths Assessment. It's a basic tool, 177 questions, that deals with every aspect of you and helps you analyze who you are. So this strengths test assessment helps you gain insights into your personality, into your abilities, into latent talents that you would not ordinarily have been able to put into words. So once you are able to complete the assessment, then your understanding of the report gives you a better perspective about yourself. So like I said, first principle is know thyself. How do you know thyself? Your best bet is a Clifton Strengths Assessment. Now, once you have completed these two stages, you can now move to the next step. How can I begin to use my abilities, my talents in starting something? So you know yourself. Now you understand from your assessment what your strengths are. So whether it's your top 5, whether it's your top 10 strengths, you know exactly what they are. Then you know your domain.
Your domain.
Your domain is executing.
So,
whether your
sir,
domain is influencing relationship building and the rest.
Sir, so I love you. You're almost taking me on a memorable lane. And I really can understand what you're saying. But I can bet you, for those that will be watching the replay even beyond now, they'll be wondering, if only they listen through to the end, that hey, what is this professor talking about? What is this man talking about? but so I love that bit. So I was, and let me share I listened to something 2 days ago as to Leke Alda, I'm sure you're familiar with that name. Leke Alda, and what I discovered is trying to talk about how he found expression for his strength, even at a very young age. Okay, and what he said was that the way he was able to convey his strength or his latent talent was to express himself drawing. Now, and he was also admonishing parents that hey, the parents could easily have killed that creativity, that is latent talent, if they had just said, look, why would you be drawing? Can't you be a doctor? Can't you be an engineer? Not knowing that those are like vehicles or expressions at that point, because that was what he was exposed to. So for those that haven't taken the test, can you please just bring us, yes, in knowing ourselves, because I'm sure some people say they've come again or they want us to do tests. But tell us what are those characteristics or what are those defining elements that points you to who you are as to identifying your strengths, sir? Thank you.
So I'll take a personal experience. One of the while I was growing up, I knew that I had I was very good at writing. I also knew that I was very good at research. You know, I read all manner of things. I read different materials. I knew that if there was a problem, I could easily, you know, come up with solutions to those problems. So I didn't contextualize it in the sense of strategic, but they were natural things that I did, you know, in a different way. I just did those things. So if you want to identify what your talents are, basically, first consider the things that you do so well. The things that if someone wakes you up in the morning, you will just be so excited to do them. Consider those things that you do not struggle to do. They are pointers to what your strengths are. They are pointers to what your abilities are. So for me, it's ease of doing. It's what you do so well. For me, it's even in your own immediate environment. Those things that people tell you, do you know you do this so well? So, for example, I find people coming to me for counseling. I find people coming to me, you know, to onboarding, basically. So I just knew that these were things that were innate in me, and I didn't need to struggle with those things. So writing, I didn't struggle with writing. I didn't struggle with speaking. I didn't struggle with solving people's problems. I didn't struggle with things like helping people. You know, it can be as simple as that. Your ability to help people, you know, just simple things. So check very well anything that you do so well. One, anything that you don't struggle with, anything that you are passionate about. Those things are pointers to your strengths.
Love the flow of this discussion. So you talked about the flow, a natural sequence, things that we enjoy to do, that we're pleasurably disposed towards doing as pointers, even without taking the test. All right, to your strengths. Okay, so
Definitely.
you've talked about. So please, can you tell us about your top 5 strengths and how you have also used your strengths to start your business? You know, as it were.
Okay, so my top 5 are strategy. I've got responsibility, I've learner, I've got arranger, and I've got individualization. Now, my learner, I'll pick my learner for example. My learner is so vivid because I read a lot, and because I read a lot, I read different things. So it's not surprising that I found myself in consulting. So whether it's agri, whether it's energy, whether it's whatever it is, you know, I read wide. So that's something that has helped me, you know, even when we wanted to start the business. So doing a lot of research, that was very helpful. Now, strategic is my number 1. And I have the innate ability to provide 7, 10 options for you on a particular situation.
Correct.
And those things for me are very easy. So that's one thing we're able to, you know, in delivering products and services, you are able to come up with different options, you know, using the strategic talents. And you were able to also delineate, okay, there's a problem here. We shouldn't go to this. We shouldn't go into this service. We shouldn't release this product. You know, you were able to do that. You know, using the strategic and relationship building, my individualization, the ability to bring people, you know, for who they are, the uniqueness, understanding the uniqueness of people. So my individualization a lot in that area. Why
sir, can you? I love the fact that, you know, and I'm bringing this into perspective now, particularly not to alt you, but to you know, just streamlining to the focus of our business today as to how to start.
Awesome.
Or starting using strengths. You talked about how you had used your learner as a tool, all right? Your innate ability to learn had given you the opportunity to garner insights and information and do your research. You also talked about strategic, and I have strategic also. So, you know, we're like kindred, you know, we're able to come up with solutions, you know, and even when it's not obvious to others around us. So I like to know how, whilst you took this on, moving with common business premises or principles. We talk about ideation. So this also aided you in your ability to think through and come up with options. But did it help you in driving, or did it help you in setting up the business? Because there's a thin line between starting and setting up. So you're starting with an idea. So we believe you use the input and your inputs around your learner and strategic. So, but with regards to setting up your business, how have you, or how did you use your strengths? And I see a few people here. I see some people joined us and some guys left out. I saw Mohammed Galba. I saw there's Ngozi Oyewole. There's Mercy Jonathan. There's Abimbola in Moro. All right, it's great to have you all here. I'm sure you all would have taken this test. If you haven't, just be on the lookout, because it's important you take your Gallup strength test. So go ahead, sir. Okay, so our guest somehow, for some reasons, got out of the chat room. So we're hoping to bring him back shortly. So do you have any questions? Is there anybody that has anything to say? So let me even go into the panelists. Sorry, the audience. Hello, audience. Abimbola, would you like to ask a question or give a comment? I'm giving you the permission to talk. Abimbola Moru, you can unmute now. Good afternoon. Hello, Abimbola, you're allowed to talk. You want to say a few words? Just unmute.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Good afternoon.
I've been enjoying the conversation, and honestly, it just simply spurs me and encourages me not to limit myself, to open up myself to diverse industry, diverse acquiring more skills, and show is a no, So honestly, I'm privileged to be part of this meeting, and I'm waiting around to learn more. Thank you.
Awesome. So we have Mr. Seun in the house, back in the house. Hey, and Mrs. Abimbola just gave a positive review as to having a great time listening to you. So you're back, and while you left, we were talking about the using your strength around starting and then setting up. So tell us how you use your strengths to set up And please go ahead.
So
how you used to set up your business.
For the benefit of our audience, I would like us to also be practical. Let's be practical enough so that people gain some insight. Now, starting, there's always an idea. There might not even be an idea when you are starting. It might just be that you find yourself in an environment, and within that environment, you see a particular problem. And the problem keeps staring you in the face. And all of a sudden, you just decide, I think I can do something about this problem. So there are times when you have ideas and you want to pursue the ideas. There are times when your environment forces you to see a problem, and that big problem becomes a business that you eventually want to start. So I'll look at when starting. For example, I told you my learner very, very evident because it helped me to study wide. It helped me to undertake research.
How do I go like?
It helped me to ensure that I got all the documentations right. Now, setting up, my arranger was paramount in this area because for me, putting the bits together, putting the knots, bringing the team together, ensuring that the product is right, ensuring the legal aspect of the business is well integrated, in ensuring that I've got my tax people on board, ensuring that I've got the sales team on board, ensuring that there are processes. Those are things that my arranger helped with. So as a business person, when you want to start, you should ask yourself, who am I? You should also ask yourself the question, what do I want to offer? What am I offering? Why do I want to offer this product or this service? Who are those that need this product, or who are those that need the service? How am I going to deliver the product or the service to this audience? So those are basic questions that as starters, we need to ask. Then when we move from the point of starting to setting up, we're talking about systems and processes.
Really?
So when it comes to systems and processes, for me, your lawyer is paramount. So you must have what I have, and I call them my advisory team. They are my lawyers, my accountants, my tax consultants. Those people, they are like people you can't do without. Then you want to look at your sales team, because any business without sales, you're probably running an NGO. So sales is what keeps you in business. Without sales, you don't have a business. So you need a process that ensures that your product goes out or your service goes out and your funds come into your account. And that process must be clear. There must be no gaps. If you see a gap, you need to fix it. Also, your team. I'm a people person, I believe in people a lot, and I feel that your team, they are a key part of your business. So you must get the right team and ensure that your team members are in the right positions. You can do what we call cross-cultural, we call it cross, you can have cross teams, basically. So basically, everybody knows what everybody is doing, right? Everybody is doing. You can have cross teams, but you should have people that, like, they are the engine of your business. So your team must be solid, and you must have a solid criteria for bringing people on your team. And the first level of team is actually your board, which is your board of directors. For me, you must bring in people with shared values. Very important. People with shared values. People can bring money to your team, but if they don't share the values of your business, as it were, in the short term, it might be rosy, but in the medium to long term, you might have issues. So these are things I believe that when setting up your business, your processes and your systems are the most important part. It's like a factory. It's like a factory that has a milling line. The milling line will work. Whatever product you put on that milling line will get to the end as long as the milling line keeps working. But once there is a problem in the milling line, then you will find leakages, you will find products that are not good, you will find all manner of issues. So for me, business is about the process. Business is about a well-oiled machine. Once it's well-oiled, it doesn't matter the service, it doesn't matter the products. Once all the other bits are in place, your systems and your processes, I think your business will fly.
Now, it just appears that you've been reading into my notes, because earlier on we were trying to structure a few things, and I'm sure one of those attending would be able to attest to this fact. We were talking about systems, all right? We also talked about processes. We also moved on to talking about having structures in place, and then preparedness for scaling up. So, can you tell me, and because we moved a bit far today, this is almost like a master class. Usually we spend about 30 to 45 minutes. Because of the glitch we had, we could not go on. I need us to quickly rein this in and begin to say, hey, how do we use our strengths to take the business to the next level? Because it looks like an unending journey. So beyond just taking the test, so you come to the point of application, So tell us how this ongoing journey progresses. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll pick first. For me, for you to scale your business, you need the right team. You need the right people. So I'll tell you what I've done on my team. Majority of my team members understand their strengths. So if it were before, we would have issues in terms of giving people tasks that they are not good at, or just saying people should do things, and because you don't know what they are good at, they are not fulfilled. The business is not also fulfilled. So for me, the first thing in scaling is to understand the strengths of your team and pivot it in an appropriate manner. That way, you will ensure that the team has harmony. You will ensure that the team works in sync. Once you have your team working in sync, every other thing would follow. So for example, you have a team member whose top domains is influencing and relationship building. And that same person is not so good with strategic. And you want the person to prepare all your documents. Meanwhile, your business could be making more sales if you properly harness the strengths of that person. So this, this type of issues are things that you find. And for me, I think once you've sorted your team first, you can now begin to talk about growth, you can now begin to talk about new markets, you can now begin to talk about expansion into other trade territories.
Wow.
So for me, it's first.
Honestly, I don't know, and I said it that there must have been some esoteric or supernatural or unusual forces that wanted to stop this from holding today. And for whatever reasons, you're successfully addressing some of those crucial issues that are germane at this time as to how to start. So you're already at the point of starting. Then you're saying, okay, this is how to set up and organize. And then you've also taken us also on that journey on how to even begin to consider groups. And you anchored it on one thing. It's about getting it right with the team, before you go on those expansionist agenda.
Taiwo, I told my team something yesterday. I said something yesterday. I said, look, if you have 5 people who understand who they are and understand their strengths and they are well deployed, they can run an organization effectively.
Wow.
I know an organization that had over 30 in quote team members. And by virtue of streamlining, now they have 7 members. And those 7 are more effective than the 30. So you ask yourself, what were they doing with 30 all along?
No, don't let somebody come after you. Don't let some people come after you. No, but so it's also because of the wiring of our environment at this point, and people do not have a full understanding as to how to effectively put to use the resource. Human resource like capital. It's also human. So we move from resources to understanding that the human potential is huge. It's capital on its own, and it's a mechanism through which some of these other things are channeled or achieved or transformed. Whoa, we have to do this again, and I'm almost saying that, and in doing this again, I also have to be prepared, fully prepared, because you have taken us on a journey. I can't thank you well enough. I just must even say thank you. And be rest assured, we're going to share with our community, because unfortunately, we're not able to share right now, and stream live to YouTube and possibly Facebook. But what we'll do is, by the time we curate this, we'll take it on all those media. But we need to bring you back. So I'm getting, this is an open invitation, and we need to get your yes. So, sir, I've set you up, we're bringing you back. But on a closing statement, while you also affirm that you're coming back, tell us something we can go home and ponder over, and then we know that we call it a day. Thank you, sir.
Okay. My final thoughts will be, if you want to start a business, or if you want to scale your business, ensure that you focus more on your people. The right people with the right skill sets, with the right understanding of their role, will deliver the right results. Thank you.
Wow, that was spot on. You said focus on the people, the right skill set, and the right attitude, if I got it. Amazing. Yeah, is that what you said? Right attitude, right?
Right people, right understanding of their skill sets, right understanding of who they are, they will deliver the right results.
Wow, wow, wow. So, and just so that I leave you also on this note. So someone says that we shouldn't be living our lives predicated on miracles. Rather, we should live our lives predicated on principles. And that miracles are some intervention by grace, all right? And for those that are listening, but principles are the fulcrum, all right? The pillars for our existence. So if anybody's watching this and will be watching it, because this is there for posterity, Mr. Seun has given us principles, all right? So yes, it's okay to pray for intervention, but I can tell you, if you don't do it right, you can't get it right. And he said it all. He says, you know what? Focusing on the people. People play a critical role. He says, you know what? Understanding of your strengths also enables you to be able to develop your skill sets, all right? And at that point, you create an environment with the right people, with the right minds, you know, with the right energy, and the sky cannot be your limit. Ladies and gentlemen, and all those who have tuned in and will be tuning in, I believe that this, by far, has been one of the most interesting times. I'd like you to just see the contacts of Mr. Seun in case you need some guidance. And you know, like this, our platform, as Strength Africa, opens up to everyone to be able to showcase the best of what Africa has to project. So Mr. Seun is a Gallup certified strength coach. I'm sure you would have taken a few nuggets. So this is there for life. You have all his contacts, and please follow him, reach out to him. And I can tell you, this is a brother I trust. Light is the burden when many share the toil. And I can tell you, this is one great mark that you want to have in sharing this story with you. So yeah, thank you, team, and thank you, everyone. Mr. Seun, like I said, we need you to say yes, you're coming back.
Yes,
tell us yes, you're coming back. Correct. And on this note, guys, like you usually hear from me, you have it in you, so play to your strengths. All right. Good night. I'll see you next week.